When I was in undergraduate, I was a youth leader, and one of the guys that started to come to our program had several developmental disabilities. Getting to know him and getting to know his family, I really started to see all of the problems that faith communities had with engaging him and meeting him where he was at on his own faith journey. Additionally, I started to really see all the ways in which other faith leaders were disenfranchising him, were not welcoming, or were not honoring him as an individual. And so the more I got to know him, the more I got to see the problems that the church had, where they simply didn't know how to engage someone with disabilities or were unwilling to learn. As I continued on my own faith journey and got more and more into ministry, I began to see more and more people with disabilities that were ostracized or that were not included or not treated as whole and worthy people. And so that has drastically changed how I view ministry and how I view my calling. I think it's really important to look at the prophets of the Bible and to not look simply at the really imaginative imagery that they come up with, but to think back of why they're writing and why they're so important. And the voices of the prophets are intentionally designed to point out to their society what is wrong and why they are not living into the kingdom that God is building. And so for me, I look at my calling and say, how do I teach the church that we're doing something wrong, that we all together have been ostracizing a whole group of people whose voices matter and who are worthy and are loved. And I now view myself as not necessarily a sort of a prophet, but in that same vein of trying to say, here's what's wrong, but here's what could be right. And let's make that choice. Let's choose to include, let's choose blessings over curses for the sake of not just people with disabilities, but people all across the spectrum. Because when we exclude anyone, we all lose.